Team USA just handed Caitlyn Clark the captain's badge, and Angel Reese is losing her mind about it right now. We're talking about a full tantrum, and yeah, she actually said the words, "I deserve it more." But before we get to that meltdown, you need to see the stats that made this decision so easy. Because once you see what Clark has been doing this year versus what Reese is doing to embarrass herself, you'll understand why it's a no-brainer and why Reese's reaction is exactly the kind of petty you'd expect. Are you Team Caitlyn, the baby goat, or Team Angel, the baby giraffe? Let me know down in the comments below.
USA Basketball has announced the roster for the FIBA Women's World Cup. It's headlined by FIBA star Caitlyn Clark, who was notably left off the Olympic roster 2 years ago. She's joined by reigning WNBA MVP A'ja Wilson, Angel Reese of the Atlanta Dream, and Dallas Wings star Paige Bueckers. Here's a look at the full roster. Clark will be playing with her Fever teammate Aaliyah Boston. We have plenty of Las Vegas aces. Besides Wilson, there's also Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young. Other veterans making the trip include Brianna Stewart and Kelsey Plum.
When USA Basketball announced the roster for Berlin, that news traveled fast. But when they announced Caitlyn Clark would wear the captain's badge, that hit different, and people in the league office reportedly weren't ready for it. Think about how this normally works. Team USA captaincy goes to the player who's been around forever, the one with multiple gold medals and a decade of receipts. That's the Diana Taurasi mold, right? You put in the years, you carry the program through the lean stretches, and eventually they hand you the captaincy as a reward for sticking around. Everyone assumed that pattern would hold. Instead, it went to a third-year guard who hasn't even played in an Olympics yet, and reports say the locker room split right down the middle over whether she'd actually earned it.
You see who FIBA's promoting. You see who FIBA's promoting. Who's playing in Berlin? Track your team. They got the GOAT, Caitlyn Clark, right here as the face of it all. As the face of it all, people. The WNBA can't seem to figure it out. Kathy Dinglebert can't seem to figure it out. A lot of people just seem to be so jealous and bitter. They act like they can't realize it and figure it out, but FIBA can.
Here's the thing about captaincy that people miss because they think it's just a nice title you slap on a jersey. The captain is the one talking to referees when a call goes sideways, the one setting the tone in the huddle when the team is down 10 with 5 minutes left, the one making sure 11 other elite players who are used to being the star on their own team actually play together. That's a real job. It's not about who has the most gold medals sitting at home. It's about who the other 11 players will actually listen to when things get tight in front of 80,000 people in Berlin.
Because I played, I understand what it takes. I understand the makeup of a roster and kind of how it needs to fit because I've literally lived it, especially as a point guard, right? That's a different vantage point. So it informed everything in terms of the roster construction.
And you've got obviously players who have had international basketball experience, but you've got some younger players on the squad as well, too.
Sue Bird, who shaped this roster as managing director, said the group got built around chemistry and complementary pieces, not resumes. Her words were that this is an incredibly talented group that earned the opportunity to compete, and that wearing the USA jersey is a privilege every one of these 12 players has to embrace as a responsibility. Bird also admitted she waited until the last possible day to finalize decisions, watching injuries and performances all season before locking anything in. And she had to call players like Sabrina Ionescu to tell them missing the roster wasn't about their talent. It was about which combination gives USA Basketball the best shot at gold. And when you look at what USA Basketball actually leaned on to make this call, it comes back to Puerto Rico. That qualifying tournament run is the real evidence behind Clark wearing the captain's badge, and we're going to break down exactly what happened over there in a minute, because it's a stat line that's honestly hard to believe.
MVP of the tournament is none other than Miss Caitlyn Clark. It's undeniable the impact she's made on women's basketball, and here in Puerto Rico had quite the showing. Her debut with the senior team, the double-double with both points and assists. And in her senior debut, she wins the TISO MVP at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament here in Puerto Rico.
This isn't a solo experiment either. Clark is one of 7 players making their first ever World Cup appearance on this roster, alongside Aaliyah Boston, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, Nafisa Collier, Ryan Howard, and Jackie Young. 4 players on this team are 24 years old, 7 are under 30, and that's USA Basketball making a clear choice to build around what's coming next instead of just riding out what already worked before. Online, the reaction split about how you'd expect. Fever fans flooded timelines celebrating, while a chunk of league insiders started quietly questioning the optics of skipping over more decorated veterans. But optics aren't medals. Sue Bird and head coach Kara Lawson didn't build this roster to make everyone comfortable. They built it to win in Berlin, and every choice they made points to who actually moves the needle on the floor. This wasn't about seniority, and it was never going to be. It was about who gives Team USA the best chance at gold, plain and simple. And one player on that roster did not take this news well at all, not even a little bit.
The other question that anybody can ask about this World Cup team is how the hell and why the hell is Angel Reese on this squad? I mean, I knew she was a possibility, but come on.
What does a team do when one player is putting up numbers nobody else in the league can touch? You give her the captain's badge, that's what. Clark's averages this season sit at career highs across the board, roughly 21.5 points a game, to go with assist numbers that make most starting guards look like backups. This isn't a hot streak or a fluky month. This is a full season of production that's been climbing since opening night, and by the time USA Basketball sat down to finalize the roster, the numbers did most of the talking for them. Let's talk about the night in Seattle, because this is the game people are still replaying. Clark dropped 45 points, 10 assists, 4 steals, and 2 blocks in a single game, and she did it in under 30 minutes of playing time. That stat line made her the first player in WNBA history to put up a 40-point, 10-assist game, period. For context, Michael Jordan needed over 40 minutes to hit a similar line. So did Dwyane Wade, Luka Doncic, and Cade Cunningham. Clark did it faster than 4 guys who are considered some of the best scorers basketball has ever produced. The 45 points broke her own franchise scoring record, and her points created for the night, 67 total between scoring and assists, broke a record Diana Taurasi had held since 2006. She also went 17 of 19 from the free throw line that night, a career high, which tells you she wasn't settling for jumpers. She was attacking the rim and daring people to foul her.
Those kind of numbers. Only Michael Jordan, Dwyane Wade, Luka Doncic, Cade Cunningham have done it in the NBA.
Always so polished. Now, the players that we just read off the screen before we sent it out for that interview, you got Jordan, Wade, Doncic, Cunningham. But there's only one player on that list, now with Caitlyn Clark on there as well, that it did it in under 30 minutes.
That's crazy.
And that Seattle game wasn't some isolated explosion either. Clark 10 assists, her 4th career triple-double, tying her with Sabrina Ionescu for 3rd most in league history. She's reach. None of this happened in a vacuum either. Aaliyah Boston started seeing cleaner looks in the paint because defenses couldn't sag off Clark, and Kelsey Mitchell got more space on the perimeter because
Threes in the league.
Portland not afraid to apply this backcourt pressure, but the Fever want to play fast. And Clark banks it home, taking advantage of it.
How does a player go from all-star to the punchline of the entire league in 7 days? Ask Angel Reese, because that's exactly what happened to her, and it started at the one event that's supposed to be a celebration. All-Star Weekend was supposed to be Reese's showcase moment, a chance to remind everyone why she made the roster in the first place. Instead, A'ja Wilson blocked her shot without even leaving the ground, just stood there and swatted it like Reese wasn't even a threat at the rim. That clip spread across every timeline within minutes, and it wasn't the kind of viral moment anyone wants attached to their name. Then, like the basketball gods wanted to pile on, Reese tripped over her own feet mid-possession later in the same game, turning what should have been a highlight reel weekend into a blooper reel instead. And then there's the Obama moment, which honestly might have stung worse than either blown play. Cameras caught the former president chatting warmly with Clark, shaking her hand, engaging like she was the one player in the building worth talking to, while seemingly brushing right past Reese without a second look. Maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe it was just how the crowd moved that day. But the internet doesn't care about intent. It cares about footage. And that footage told a story Reese couldn't spin.
Oh, hey, Caitlyn, how are you? Really nice to meet you. You're great. You're fantastic. Thank you. Don't let all this nonsense get you down.
Crazy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, I always say one of the things that was luckiest for me was I didn't get famous till I was like 45. So I was an old man. I mean, you're my daughter's age. They're not to have that much, you know, burden and nonsense. So don't lose that joy. The game's like the game. And you're a hooper. And you hoop.
I try, sometimes.
You know, no, you always hoop.
Thanks.
And you're on a nice little run right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You mind if I get a picture?
Yeah, come on.
Ready?
Come on.
So cute. Wait, guys, get in with me too.
Come on.
Nice to meet you.
Come on.
Then came the betting rumors. Reports surfaced connecting Reese and Paige Bueckers to gambling activity on games around the league, the kind of story that raises eyebrows fast because integrity questions in pro sports never stay quiet for long. It didn't matter how it eventually got explained away, the damage was already done the moment it started trending next to Reese's name for the third time in 1 week.
At All-Star Weekend, you and Angel made a bet with each other on this game. Is that bet still?
This is how the rich stay rich.
You gotta save this money. I'm gonna see you next week on Wednesday.
Yeah.
At night?
No, at practice.
Oh, at practice?
I mean, I know y'all gonna lose, but if y'all lose,
I get to have that.
if y'all win, you get 400.
I get 400.
And if we lose, then you get to keep. No, you owe me 400.
Bet. I'm staying on that.
But the Mystics game last night is where things really fell apart on the court. No rumors involved, just cold hard stats. Reese shot 1 for 12 from the field and got blocked 6 separate times in a single night. 6. That's not a bad shooting night. That's a player getting physically dominated possession after possession, unable to finish at the rim against a defense that clearly had her scouted and ready. Compare that to what Clark was doing during that exact same stretch, stacking 20-point, 8-assist nights, shooting efficiently, running the offense like a point guard who knows exactly where every teammate needs the ball. Side by side, the gap isn't close, it's not even the same sport at that point.
Just a staunch defensive player, and so is Tony Citron. Citron comes up with the steal consideration. Charles Musco and Howard both believe she should be in the conversation as activated into Reese. Hectic play, no good. Reese with 5. Reese in the paint with the left, no good. Got the miss. And they were trying that back screen from the elbow with Citron and Amor. Now Reese.
Fans noticed. Analysts noticed. People started asking out loud why Reese still had a spot on Team USA at all. This wasn't one unlucky week where the shots just didn't fall. This was a pattern. Weeks and weeks of getting outworked, outthought, and outplayed by players who used to struggle to keep up with her. And right when it felt like Reese's week couldn't get any worse, it did, because that's exactly when the news about Clark's captaincy dropped. Reese didn't take it well, not even close. And what she said next is about to make this whole situation a lot messier. Reese did not stay quiet about the captaincy news, and what she said is spreading across every corner of the internet right now. Sources close to the team say she found out with everyone else, watching her own teammate get named the face of Team USA while she stood there as a role player who barely holds down a starting spot some nights. And instead of keeping that reaction behind closed doors, it leaked out. Then it went public, and now it's the only thing anyone's talking about.
Good opportunities the last couple of times offensively for the Mystics. Sitting full tank of fire right now defensively. Look at this one, all ball with the big block. Reese inside, spinning on Austin. No second chance. No. Canada off to Reese. Oh, that was Citron. Sonia Citron, so cold. That's her initials. Boom, all ball. Yet another.
Here's the quote making the rounds. I deserve it more. 4 words, and they landed about as badly as you'd expect given everything we just walked through. Think about what she's actually claiming here. She's saying she deserves a leadership badge more than the player who just dropped 45 points with a 10-assist night, more than the player running the fastest pace to 200 threes in league history, more than the player who just carried Puerto Rico with an MVP performance, breaking 14 records. That's the claim, and it doesn't hold up for one single second once you put the stats side by side. Look at the efficiency gap alone. Clark's true shooting numbers this season sit well above Reese's, and it's not close. Reese has had multiple games this year where her own teammates had to bail her out down the stretch, covering for cold shooting nights and turnovers in crunch time while she struggled to find any rhythm at all. That's not a captain's resume. That's a role player having a rough season, and saying, "I deserve it more" out loud just draws attention to a gap she probably wanted people to ignore.
Into the body of Amor. Offensive foul. Carl Smesco is incensed. He's trying to get ISO'd inside. Reese. Oh my goodness. We are filibustering here in the district. Battling. Reese, the rebound. No.
This isn't even new territory for Reese either. Remember the protected species comment from earlier in the year when she suggested she gets treated differently, unfairly even, compared to other players in the league? This fits the exact same pattern. Instead of looking at her own performance and asking what she could improve, the instinct is always to point outward, to complain about being overlooked, to act like recognition is something owed to her rather than something earned on the floor. Fans piled on immediately once the quote spread, and honestly, it wasn't hard to see why. People started pulling up the Mystics game again, that 1-for-12 shooting night with 6 blocks, right alongside the All-Star Weekend clips of Asia Wilson blocking her without leaving the ground. The timing could not have been worse for Reese to start talking about what she deserves, because the entire league just watched her get outplayed and outclassed for 2 straight weeks.
Let's go! Nothing makes me feel more alive when Angel Reese takes a layup in the paint without jumping and gets blocked. Come on! Bang! Things defenses love to see. Angel Reese, corner 3! Potatoes, see you later! Bang! Me uncoordinated? Me lose the ball? Me flail? Me complain? Me cry? Me pout? Me bang! Now this is an all-star, a cover of 2K, being unguarded like this. Nobody around! Call it a ghost town!
And while Reese was busy complaining about a title, the marketing world was busy making its own decision about who the face of basketball actually is. Nike is ramping up hype for Clark's signature shoe right now, with insiders predicting a release that sells out in minutes once it drops. That's the kind of anticipation companies dream about, the kind you can't manufacture with advertising money alone. And now compare that to Reese's Reebok deal, where her shoes are reportedly sitting in bargain bins months after release, with marketing support quietly pulled entirely. No hype, no countdown, no line outside stores, just discounted shoes nobody's rushing to buy. Sponsors don't chase controversy and they don't chase excuses, they chase reliability. And right now, one brand is heating up while the other is going cold fast. So heading into Berlin, Team USA has to figure out what role Reese even plays on a roster that just handed the captain's badge to someone she publicly claims deserved it less than her.
When you see Angel Reese going full speed, pull out your phones, you're about to see some instant classic. Me bound, me bound. She's the WOT, worst of all time. Bang! She'd have better luck shooting with a putter. Putter? You mean butter? Butter pecan! Bang! I will say one nice thing about her is that she's an underrated passer. Bang! Zookeeper, the baby giraffe has left the exhibit again. Bang!
Strip away the noise and it comes down to production, leadership, and a Puerto Rico run that broke 14 records in 5 games. That's not a popularity pick, that's a resume. Reese's response, saying she deserved it more, only proved the exact point USA Basketball made by skipping over her. You don't complain about a captain's badge, you earn it on the floor, and Reese spent this season proving she's not there yet. Berlin is coming, and Clark leads a roster built for gold. The real question is whether Reese fixes her season before the world starts watching. Are you Team Caitlyn, the baby goat, or Team Angel, the baby giraffe? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications as we're bringing you all the action and top stories. Click the video on the screen, and we'll see you in the next one.